Someone once said, it is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. But I believe everything that happens happens for a reason. Dawson.
You don't know how to flirt, do you, Dawson?
I guess I blew it the other day.
You did. Well, what are you gonna do about it?
I wouldn't mind doing that again.
Then do it.
Would you dance with me?
Oh.
If this was the last time you're gonna see me, what would you say?
Please don't do this. Dawson! Dawson!
So for anyone who hasn't read the book or isn't already aware of the story, why don't you tell me a little bit about what The Best of Me is actually all about?
So The Best of Me is about these two young lovers who sort of find each other very romantically, as they do in Nicholas Sparks movies. They just fit with one another. Like he's a bit of an introvert and she's an extrovert, and she sort of, brings out the very best in him from a young age. He comes from a bad upbringing, and I think she's the source of light and goodness for him. And then their paths, unfortunately, start to take, different directions, and some dramatic things happen that take them away from one another for about 20 years. And now, so the movie's told in present day and in flashback. So in the present day, I play the older Dawson Cole who meets Amanda again after 20 years of not being with her, and believes that there's some reason to our coming back together. And I think with him, it's a feeling of this is a second opportunity to make this right and to be with the person you're supposed to be with.
And when you heard about the project, what was it that kind of made you want to get involved with it?
Well, I had a really nice experience on The Notebook, which was a good 10, 12 years ago, and and so I guess it was like an opportunity to do that again, just playing a different character. And I think it's nice to you always want your films to have a nice fan base, and people out there just can't, they love the Nicholas Sparks. They love them some Nicholas Sparks. So, if you get to be a part of that, then great. So that was mostly it. And then beyond that, it was just playing a different character that I hadn't really played before.
Amanda?
Dawson.
It's been a long time.
20 years.
21, but who's counting?
The fact that you had been in The Notebook, and it's probably the most famous and Nicholas Sparks adaptation,
Yeah.
I'd say, it's the one everyone kind of knows. Was there any were you a bit nervous about kind of going back to Nicholas Sparks and people comparing, to even though it's a different character?
Yeah, not really, because I still feel like I'm the guy that people have to remind themselves that I'm in the original, like The Notebook. Like, right, you were the guy that, she leaves.
Yeah.
No, I didn't feel any pressure, really. It was, I guess it was a nice endorsement by Nicholas Sparks to have me back in one of his films. And as an actor, it's nice to, I don't know, I feel like with movies nowadays, there's a lot of, big special effects and superheroes, and some of which I've been lucky to be a part of. But it's nice to just sit down and be a part of a story where it's, exploring human emotion and second chances and perseverance and all these, it's nice to just get in there and have it be about the connection you have with the other person. So that was probably the biggest reason I wanted to be a part of it. It was just nice to be a part of something that's sort of a classic, love story.
And now Nicholas Sparks loves a scene in the rain.
Yeah.
Were you a bit gutted you didn't get the rain scene in this one either? You missed the scene in The Notebook? You missed it?
Yeah, we never got the rain.
Or you kind of a bit pleased that you managed to dodge the cold?
I leave the sort of rain scenes for the young kids. So Michelle and I obviously play the older versions of the young characters, and it's nice, because when you think about youthful relationships, you think about that first love, and it's all these emotions you're experiencing for the first time in your life, and you feel like you're on fire. It's just very, very acute, heightened emotion. And then when you get older, it's just more complex and more depthful and complicated. And I find as an actor, it's more interesting to play that.
What do you think audiences can look forward to seeing when they go to watch the film?
a box of tissues in their lap. Hopefully. No, I think what's nice about these stories is that it's just sort of an unabashed romantic love story. It doesn't pretend to be anything else. So it's as we go through our lives, we always like to think about what might have been had we stayed with that first love, or you know, made this decision, or said hi to that person at the coffee shop, or whatever. You know, I don't know. It's like, who would I be now if I had done this instead of that? You know, it's always an interesting and, you know, sometimes pointless, I guess, affair. But when something really significant happens in your life and you think, had that not happened, or had I not gone through that, you know, where would I be now, and who would I be with, and would I be happier, and would I be more interesting, or would I be experiencing love to a greater degree? And so I think that's essentially what the movie explores. You weren't just someone I loved back then. You are the very best of me.